It was a seemingly calm and uneventful day at Naval Base San Diego when sailors aboard the Wasp-class amphibious assault ship USS Bonhomme Richard began to frantically yell that there was a fire as the flames spread across a large vehicle depot below deck. The enormous modern warfare vessel was undergoing a 2-year, $250 million upgrade when the disaster unfolded. As the flames grew unopposed, the vehicles inside the bay began to detonate in spectacular explosions that spread the intensity of the fire and made extinguishing attempts more difficult. By now, the entire naval base was on high alert. Firefighters from the San Diego area poured into the military base to help the sailors, but the lack of an adequate protocol hindered their efforts. The firefighters could not even get a map of the burning ship. Aerial footage revealed the continuous efforts to fight the fire as the vessel burned away, giving rise to a towering smoke pillar. But as the disaster's scale grew beyond everyone's ability to stop it, USS Bonhomme Richard continued burning for almost 5 days, in what is considered one of the worst naval disasters in American history outside of combat. But as losses mounted and investigations unfolded, a humiliating series of mistakes would be revealed, including the suspected deliberate action of a single sailor. A formidable asset. A Wasp-class amphibious assault ship is a significant $4 billion American investment that provides the Navy with some of the most advanced, cutting-edge solutions to embark, deliver, and land elements in amphibious assault operations by helicopter, landing craft, or amphibious vehicles. USS Bonhomme Richard was also designed to perform light aircraft carrier functionalities when a specific operation required it. The U.S. ship was developed after the Navy issued a contract to Ingalls Shipbuilding on December 11, 1992. She would lay down her keel for almost 3 years before being launched in 1997. The Navy received the finished vessel the following year, and she was commissioned for service in 1999. Bonhomme Richard made her combat debut from January to July of 2000, when she became the first ship to be deployed in the Western Pacific by then. As part of Operation Southern Watch, the ship supported the U.S. Navy on its mission to monitor and control the airspace south of the 32nd parallel in southern and south-central Iraq. The following year, USS Bonhomme Richard would serve as part of Operation Enduring Freedom during the initial American incursion in Afghanistan. Then, in 2003, USS Bonhomme Richard would play a crucial role during the war as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom, when she offloaded more than 1,000 Marines and gear from the 3rd Battalion 1st Marines in Kuwait. After delivering the assets, she took the role of a light carrier, launching AV-8B Harrier strike aircraft into Iraq. A few years later, the ship conducted vital humanitarian aid operations in Sri Lanka and on the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia, to provide support for relief efforts following the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and its subsequent tsunamis. Then, after several years of participating in international coalition military exercises, Bonhomme Richard assisted in the rescue operation of the capsized South Korean ferry MV Sewol. USS Bonhomme Richard also took part in Australia's largest military exercise until then in June of 2017, along with 20 other ships and over 200 aircraft. Notably, the ship made international headlines later that year as a U.S. Marine Corps MV-22 Osprey took off from her deck and then crashed in Shoalwater Bay on Australia's east coast. The fire. At 8:50 a.m. on July 12, 2020, while docked at the San Diego Naval Base for scheduled maintenance, witnesses reported hearing explosions coming from USS Bonhomme Richard. The situation quickly escalated because onboard fire suppression systems had been disabled. On board the ship, the sailors reported that the initial fire originated from a below-deck vehicle bay, typically used to park military trucks while the ship is at sea. Fortunately, there were not many vehicles in the area, but later reports revealed that the shipyard had used the site as storage for construction supplies and combustible materials. As such, there were large amounts of cardboard boxes, paper, cloth, rags, and other highly flammable supplies that facilitated the spread of the fire. The sailors were taken by surprise as the flames grew, especially as many of them didn't have firefighting training. The first major issue was a lack of communication, as the servicemen didn't have compatible radios and standard frequencies. Consequently, they couldn't work together to pinpoint the location of the fire. As chaos ensued, thick and toxic fumes spread below deck, making the already deficient firefighting efforts futile. Moreover, the sailors who decided to stay and fight the flames could not get close to the source, as the smoke inhibited their breathing. As civilian emergency responders arrived on the scene, the firefighters on the docks could not help, as the Navy authorities did not have a map of the ship available for them. Soon, temperatures reached over 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit, melting the ship's aluminum internal superstructure and allowing the flames to spread to every corner of the vessel. More and more sailors and firefighters had to be taken for medical assistance, and it became clear that going below deck to fight the fire was now impossible. Meanwhile, the world watched the fire consuming the inside of the ship as news reports played bird's-eye footage of the disaster as it evolved, showing firefighter boats attempting to control the fire from the outside of the U.S. warship. The firefighters took almost 5 days to control the situation. By then, the damage to the ship was overwhelming, and 63 sailors and firefighters had been injured. Further evaluations concluded that the damage would cost $3.2 billion, almost the entirety of the ship's $4 billion value. Thus, the Navy decided to decommission USS Bonhomme Richard and sell her for scrap. Unprepared. The ensuing investigations resulted in 2 major blows for the U.S. Navy. The first one was delivered by public opinion, as the probes revealed that the inability to control the fire was due to a humiliating lack of training, leadership, and discipline on the part of the military organization. A sailor from USS Bonhomme Richard testified that the fire drills had become extremely relaxed and ludicrous, describing one such scene as, quote, "A guy with a flag simulates a flame, and a nozzleman says, 'I'm squirting you with water,' and then they say, 'Fire is out.'" Navy officials were forced to admit that reliance on technologically advanced fire suppression systems had led Navy authorities to become overconfident and play down the importance of rigorous and frequent fire training protocols. The disaster showed a significant inability to accurately account for all crew and a failure to take correct draft readings. The report also shed light on the significant deterioration of conventional firefighting equipment. Mismatched hose threads, inability to provide firefighting water, no self-contained breathing apparatus refilling capability, portable pumps that were inoperable, and useless batteries and equipment. Act of arson. The second blow to the Navy was them realizing that the fire was not accidental, as investigations pointed out that several sailors had witnessed a serviceman initiating a fire in the exact location where the evidence pointed to the flames starting. As the inquiries progressed, it became increasingly clear to Navy officials that the catastrophe had been caused by an act of arson, and they initiated the process to conduct a military trial against the man accused of starting the fire. The suspect denies the charges and has repeatedly stated that he was on deck and not in the vehicle bay when the fire broke out. Still, the prosecution is confident in its evidence and plans to pursue the trial. If found guilty, the event would become one of the worst acts of self-sabotage in the history of the U.S. Navy. Thank you for watching my video. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to help this video reach more people. Also, for more exciting history-inspired content, check out our other Dark Documentaries channels, where we constantly publish new videos. Stay tuned.